Joining me by phone now is the lovely Tanya Unkovich. Tanya, welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you today?
Yeah, doing well. Easing back into things as such, actually, Tanya. I've sort of been back in the studios for about almost 3 weeks now. But it's taken, after 8 weeks of lockdown, it's sort of taking its time.
It does, doesn't it? We get into a habit. When you do something over and over again, it creates a habit. And even if it means being in the habit of a lockdown, right?
Yeah. So, let's talk about this because for many people, when you ask them, so how was lockdown for you? Now, of course, for some people it was terrible. But for others, I'm often surprised at the answer, it was great. Just loved it. I want to go back there. So we can't go back there. We have to move forward. So let's talk about when you kind of just want to hide away still. You want to be in that place. Is this a good thing, Tanya?
Well, I'm going to be blunt like our friend Andrew often is and say no.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes, lockdown in a way gave us permission to hide in a comfort zone, and yes, whilst it was probably a lovely rest for those of us who were really busy and all that, it's very easy to use it now as an excuse to keep hiding away from life and to stay in your little comfort zone. And that's not always a good thing. It's about you really do have to make a move in order to change the habit and go back into normal life again, because lockdown actually wasn't normal.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because for some people they might be going, well, actually, I loved that way of living. I loved that normal. But are we really created to just be at home with just a few number of people or even by ourselves?
Well, this is a good time to ask yourself the question, what was it that I loved about it? It may have just been this feeling of calm that you felt. So are you able to recreate that feeling of calm in the everydayness of life now? Right? So there's quite a difference there. We all want to have, times of quiet and all that, but if we are able to be calm, no matter what is going on around us, no matter how busy life is, that's what most of us want. But we don't know how to do it. And in a way, lockdown enabled us and forced us all to stop. And yeah, all of us, we all kind of thought, this first week or two, this is kind of nice, but it's not normal. You want to get back into living again and socializing and seeing people one-to-one, feeling that experience of true intimacy and connection with people, with humans.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because for those listening who are actually, this is anxious times. These are anxious times, and they'd prefer to just stay at home. And in fact, maybe they haven't actually made that step outside into the real world again. How do we get back there? How do we say to ourselves, okay, lockdown was good. It's not normal. It's time to move forward. How do we do that?
Well, you must decide first that you're going to do it and that you're no longer going to stay in that comfort zone. You're no longer going to stay in these repeating unhealthy habits if that's what's happening. Because the cost of not doing it is actually probably going to be too great. It may affect your personal life, your professional life, your work. So you must make the decision that you want to move forward. It's going to get too painful otherwise if you don't. And look, you don't also need to take a fast leap out. You can do it one step at a time so that it is comfortable, okay? Because otherwise you might, take a leap too far and it'll feel too uncomfortable, and then you'll go, see, I told you so. You don't want to do that. Look, one thing I'm going to invite everyone to stop doing is stop watching so much news and social media that's going on at the moment, because that is keeping us in a place of fear and anxiety and not wanting to get out. So get a good balance there. Don't get your certainty from outside of yourself. Get the certainty from within. And sometimes it does mean limiting the amount of time you're on your devices, just looking at the news and all of that sort of thing. So
yeah, because it can form a distorted reality of what's really going on with the world. There are some very difficult things and difficult discussions happening at the moment, but at the same time, people are still doing their day-to-day things, as people still need to go to work, they need to go and, perhaps go and get lunch, say hello to this person and that person. It may be almost surprising just how normal things have returned.
Yes. And just step out there and do it. It is, but like that saying, just do it. Because otherwise, if you remain in this place of safety, of, in inverted commas, safety, and hiding away from the world, the longer you do it, the harder it is going to be for you to come back out again. And the more it's going to become not only a pattern, but also it's going to become who you are. And you don't want that. Life is too precious.
Yeah, I think there was that period of what people are calling now the great pause, but it's time to move away from that now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because, we were gifted with life for a reason. And, many of us who have we've all lost someone, what they would have done to have another day, to have another week. Life is very, very precious. And you don't want to have to face tragedy in order to realize how precious your life is, or wait until the end of the year or the end of your life to go, oh my God, I wasted so much time. Start living your one precious life today.
So, I mean, for some people that this may be the conversation that gets them thinking, okay, it's time to mentally and physically make that move forward. But for some people, they may still be like, actually, I just can't. I don't know how. I've got into this place where I truly feel very anxious. Is that time to just sort of say, actually, I need someone else to help me here?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, that word can't, I'm just going to invite you to take that T off the end of it and, yes, believe that you can. And it may be that you need a little bit of a hand to help you get over this speed bump. There's something that is stopping you, which is making you put that T on the end of that word can.
Yeah.
You've got to really want to do it as well.
Tanya, I think you're a great person to talk to about this. I was talking to you about this the other day off air, and we just had a good conversation about living life to the fullest and what that can look like. Because, there's, and I've not been shy to say it, there's certainly a side of my personality that quite enjoys being the one at home, sort of just in my little comfortable space. But at the same time, the other day I had this realization, it's important to be around other people, because sometimes just your listening ear and your presence is actually quite helpful. And that's not saying, yay, me. It's saying, actually, we're all important. We're all part of a body. And sometimes when we exclude ourselves, then people are excluded perhaps from something that might be helpful for their lives. So, Tanya, I think you're a great person to talk to on this. If people want to talk to you about, gosh, how am I going to do this thing? How am I going to get back into the real world? How do they contact you?
Well, you can Google me, Tanya Unkovich, or go to my website, tanyaunkovich.com. I'm on social media everywhere as well. So if you spell my name right, you'll find me.
Okay. Let's spell that, Tanya, because it is a tricky one. I often get texts from people saying, Tanya who? Can you? Yeah, so it's... Yeah. You actually, I'll get you Tanya with a Y. I'll get you to spell it.
And Unkovich.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for your wisdom today. Really enjoy talking with you, Tanya.
You are so welcome. Always lovely to chat.